Let's make lamb over rice halal cart style. Easily one of my favorite meals all time. Feed a food processor lots of onion and heartburn. Give this operation a jalapeno with its seeds. Then just blitz it until it's nice and fine like you. Now, in the food processor, we're gonna do half lamb, half beef. Empty out your bottle of oregano. Hit this with plenty of salt. Then just finish with cumin and paprika. The food processor is looking a little full. As you mix this all together, make sure you're pushing down the sides. I want you to line a baking dish with some parchment paper. We're gonna tightly pack it into our dish like this. And you really wanna press down to make sure that there's no air bubbles. And just keep in mind, it should be about 1.5 inches thick. And now this goes into the oven at 400 degrees. Make this recipe. You'll thank me right after. Let's make some rice. I'm using an extra long grain basmati rice. Then I'm gonna wash this rice in cold water and soak it for about 15 minutes. In a deep pot, start with some clarified butter. And then we're gonna toast our spices, starting with turmeric, a little cardamom and paprika. And then you wanna finish with a little cumin. Once it smells nice and aromatic, go in with your rice. We just wanna toast this down for a couple minutes. Now that our rice is nice and toasted, we go in with the perfect amount of salt. Submerge this in chicken stock and bring to a boil. Once your rice starts to negotiate back, shut it up with the lid. Drop the heat to a low and cook for about 15 minutes. As your rice and meat cook, in a blender, go in with some fresh parsley. Squeeze in lots of lemon juice and add in some vinegar. And then just quickly blend this all up. Toss this into equal parts mayo and yogurt. Dilute it with water until you get your preferred thickness. And then finally adjust it with the right amount of salt and pepper. So the meat took about 30 minutes and I've been letting it rest for at least 15. Then I'm gonna start making about 1/2 inch slices. Look, it's our homemade Euro meat. Oh my bad, it's not authentic Euro meat? Boo-hoo. This is to replicate the Euro meat they use for the lamb over rice in New York City, not Greece. Real quickly, chop it up like you work at a bodega. Sizzling hot pan is gonna get onions and peppers. Add in your makeshift Euro meat. And then just let this caramelize for a quick second. Rice came out super fluffy like me. One side gets fresh tomatoes, the other gets lettuce. Top it off with your lamb. Then just finish it off with your beautiful white sauce. Oh. And as always, now bismillah. That bite was marvelous. I can't wait to devour this plate. I've been gatekeeping this ramen noodle recipe. They're just creamy, spicy, and I'm officially addicted. I'm gonna be using Baldock spicy chicken flavor. Put a spicy packet of sauce in a bowl. Give it a dash of honey. Just a quick pulse of ketchup. Sesame seed oil is a game changer. And then we just dash it with a little bit more soy sauce and just mix it all up. Boiling water gets the noodles. Once they're almost cooked, I'm gonna drain out most of the water. I'm gonna add in all our sauce. And once it starts to slightly dry up, I'm gonna add in a little bit of heavy cream. And now these are my type of ramen noodle. And as always, now bismillah. So simple, but incredible. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let's make quesadilla tacos for weight loss. Wow. I promise I'm gonna make it as easy as possible for you. We got our 3 musketeers, arbol, ancho, and guajillo chilies. Deseed them and cover in some boiling water. When a pan is nice and hot like you, start searing off some lean beef. And the goal here is to develop some flavor and get a nice little sear. In the same pan, drop the heat and add in some tears. Measure your heartburn by the handful. I like to toast a cinnamon stick and bay leaf. Then I'm gonna squeeze in some tomato paste and just let this cook for a couple minutes. You want all that flavor on the bottom of the pan, so splash in some water. Toss that all into a blender. Then you wanna do some tomato, all those marinated chilies. We're gonna season this with clove, coriander, cumin, and some oregano. Splash in a little chili water. And now we blend. It should smell like you made your abuela proud. Again, you could easily do this with a pot and a lid, but I'm gonna be pressure cooking my operation for about 35 minutes. At this time, I'm gonna taste and adjust for salt. And now it's time to cook our beautiful food. All I'm saying is Mexican cuisine is top 3 best cuisines of all time. I don't even need to use my hands to shred the meat. I just pinch it with the tongue. I like to strain the broth and dip in a low-calorie tortilla. Then I'm gonna cover this with some reduced fat cheese. Toss your beautiful beef on one side. Just close it up. Then I like to give it one more splash of my consomme. Hit mine with some onion, cilantro, and some fresh lime. And as always, now bismillah. These are Palestinian arayes. They're basically pita stuffed with meat, and you have to give them a try. And that is just unbelievable. For optimal results, I want you to start off by grating down your onion. You want to squeeze the life out of it and make it cry back. I hate you all, not a single crying hack works. Me personally, I think it needs heat in the form of a jalapeno. You need the garlic nice and fine like you, so I'm going to use a microplane. For this, I'm going to bundle up some cilantro and go to town. Here's what I like to do. I'm going to grab all the onions and add it to the mixture. Jalapeno and garlic join the party. Then I like to run my knife through this one more time. I'm going to introduce that mixture to some ground beef. To season, we hit this with a generous amount of paprika. Just a light touch of cumin. Time for cardamom and allspice. Then we finish with onion, garlic, salt, and pepper. Strap up with a glove and go to town. I personally like to use thick pita because I feel like it holds better. Slice it in half, open up its cavity, and then we're just gonna stuff it with our ground beef mixture. This is the amount that I recommend. I want you to Picasso on some preferably Palestinian olive oil, then onto a hot grill pan they go. Just get some gorgeous grill marks and let them cook through. I like to serve them with a little lemon khiyar, and as always, now bismillah. I think it's time we make ramen noodles for weight loss. This was highly requested. Use something lean and cheap like a flat iron steak. Just slice it up into large chunks. Very lightly oil down a cast iron skillet. And the goal is to get a very deep sear on the beef. Give them a couple minutes, let them get brown like this. You could do this with a pan and a lid, but I'm gonna be using a pressure cooker. Toss in some onion. Then we're gonna add bay leaf, star anise, and some cardamom. We got the dude from the Apple Jacks commercial, some allspice berries and cloves. Submerge this operation with plenty of water. Properly salt this up. And then we're gonna pressure cook this on high for 30 minutes. Or bring it to a boil and drop to a simmer and cover if you're using a pan. You know the meat's done when it starts to fall apart like your life. In a separate pot, dump in a little bit of that strained beef stock. Add in collard greens, spinach, or bok choy. Toss in more of your favorite vegetables. I'm adding some carrots. When those are cooked, add in your favorite ramen. I'm using this open face pan so you could see what's on the inside, but use a deeper pot. Optionally, add your seasoning packet. Gonna hit this with soy sauce, sriracha, and a little sesame seed oil. Hit it with a pile of your lean shredded beef. Top it off with some fresh cilantro, and you have some of the best ramen you'll ever eat. And as always, now bismillah. I promise you, you're gonna impress yourself when you make this.